All righty. Welcome. It's Dr. Stan Harris, known as Dr. Breakthrough. And as you can see, Reverend Key, I got my blue blockers on from the beginning. Come on now, remind my own self. But anyway, hey, this is day number 8 of the breakthrough. Again, we're teaching you your financial breakthrough or breakdown can almost be guaranteed. Now, the reason we say almost because I don't know what you're going to do. Now, if you ignore the principles, your breakdown will be guaranteed. If you implement the principles, your breakthrough can be guaranteed. And obviously, the type of people I know that you are, you're going to implement these principles so that you can get the breakthrough. And by the way, the reason I know so many of these will break you down financially, because I've been through them. And the reason I know the breakthrough works, because I not just broke down, but then I learned to break through. Okay. So we've been giving you, this is again, week number 8 in our series. And so here we go. Let's go and just pick up here real quick and start moving again on this. And that is, we said when your outgo is less than your income. When your outgo is less than your income. Now, you know I'm doing this how to make an extra 9K to 90K in 90 days or less challenge. And by the way, if you haven't joined the free, did I say free, Facebook group and get those, of course, people like Reverend Key and many of you are on my YouTube channel as well. So I started putting them up there as well. But last night, oh my goodness, I interviewed a gentleman. Oh my goodness. John, you talking about a blessing. Noel, no, this guy in network marketing went 13 years and never made any money. 13 years. He just kept struggling and just kept trying. Somebody said they're trying to get in and it won't let him in. Interesting. But imagine this 13 years. I think he said he probably made $1,000 in 13 years, which obviously that's no money, right? But anyway, and then he says he got a breakthrough. Watch this. And he gets started with this company and he makes $980,000 in 1 year. Right? Watch this. 13 years of nothing but the struggle, right? And sometimes, and one of the things I said to him is before the breakthrough, there seems to be all struggle and little or no success. After the breakthrough, Jojo, there seems to be mostly all success and little or no struggle. And really, it's not that there's no struggle, it's just that you're so used to going through the struggles that you just, like Job, in the book of Job, he said, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. Why? Because the other verse says, because in destruction, he shall redeem thee. So you're just like, I've been through this enough times. I know it's going to happen. I'm breaking through this too. So it's not even a big deal. So James Davis, is this making sense to you? So what I'm saying is this, but this guy did $980,000. Man, his name is eluding me here. David Nieves. So he works for the company I speak for, Vital Health. Yes. So as a matter of fact, so I spoke for the company and then they got me, they're paying me and flying me out to speak for the big convention thing. And those you don't know, I put all kind of stuff together. Right. And so I'll seem like a scatterbrain to some of you, but there's method to my madness, right? So I'm like the kite all over the place. Thank God for Nadia, my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight, because JoJo, she's like the string. Just and every once in a while she'd say, "Baby, just breathe now, just breathe." But I get this from the Bible because the Bible says, "Add to your faith virtue, and the virtue knowledge and faith." It didn't say exchange; it says add. So what I learned to do is you get something going and get it going pretty good, and then you add this other thing and get it going pretty good, and then now you don't start them all at the same time, right? But you can get it going, then you can add. So anyway, but going back to this, and so right when I announced I was going to do this, how to make an extra 9K to 90K breakthrough challenge, right? We started the first Saturday, June the 1st on this meeting, and I just spoken for the company the week before, and they sent me a bunch of products. So I said, hey, and I said, I'm going to fast for everybody that goes through the 9K to 90K. Remember, at first I said, man, I'll see if I can do 21 days. And I was like, yeah, let me just see. Let me just go do 90 days. I'm just going to fast for everybody that's really wanting to implement and go through this challenge. Well, I started using their products, right? These vital health products. And I didn't even get hungry. Now, Reverend the Key, you know what it's like, especially when we get up a little age. When I was younger, man, it was easier. But you get up a little age, you be like, "Rrrr," And so, especially when you look, your wife's over there eating, you be like, but anyway, I didn't even get hungry. I was like, wow, these products. Anyway, make a long story short, it's been amazing. As some of you know, we're down now. We were 309 pounds when we started. Yesterday morning, I didn't check this morning, but yesterday morning I was 246 pounds. Now, when I start eating, I'll pick up a little more, because my wife said, "Baby, I don't want you looking like a bobblehead." And but I said, "But hey, I only got like six. I think it's 6 days left. 6 days left. That's the commitment I made, but we got to stick to it because the Bible says this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting." But I said all that to say that all this tied in, how God does it, it's all tying in together. And so anyway, so David and Neva's, and so now they're paying me a whole lot of money to speak at the conference, plus flying Nadia and I out and so forth. Plus I get to serve people by selling them books that will actually change their life, how to build a big team fast and your breakthroughs guaranteed, some of these other things. And obviously, what I'm going to do, JoJo, is everybody that buys my coaching package or my book, whatever, gets a complimentary vacation, right? Or cruise, right? When I speak at these events. But anyway, but I said all that to say, so it all kind of fit in together. And so as a matter of fact, I got to do a television show day before yesterday, and we got to talk a little bit about the health and some other things and some things we're talking about now. But I said all that to say, so I'm interviewing David, and it was amazing to me. He said, and then the next 6, well, maybe 5 years, I think it was, he made $7 million. And then he said he lost it all. I said, don't tell me. I'll tell you why. He said, what? Go ahead. What? Take a guess. I said, because when you started making more money, I said, first of all, you didn't make sure you was keeping your growth up, your personal growth. Because I keep saying, if your money grows faster or before you do, unfortunately, you have to shrink back down to where you are and sometimes even lower. And I said, and what happens is a lot of times when people start making money, they just start upping the spending. And so if a person is making $50,000 a year and they're spending 51,000, I mean, even if they're spending 50,000, they're broke, but 51, they're in debt, right? I said, so if you start making 100,000 a year, you spend 101,000, or you make 1 million in a year, you spend 1,100,000. It doesn't matter if your outgo is more than your income, that's your downfall. He said, brother, that's it to the T. And that was last night when I interviewed him. So I had to get on this one again and just hit that. So again, remember I said, stop trying to impress people you don't like by spending money you don't have to buy things that you don't even need, right? So again, I'm going to keep saying it till you get it. When your outgo is more than your income, that's your downfall. You got to learn to live below your means and cripple the lifestyle creep, right? So again, your outgo has to be less than your income. That will be and keep you up so you won't fall. Okay, so learn to budget, and I mean, and here's a key: delayed. Somebody might want to write this one down. Delayed gratification creates greater future satisfaction. Ooh, delayed gratification creates greater future satisfaction. So just because you have the money, you don't have to do everything now. There's time and greater satisfaction when you put that thing and delay it. And just like my wife and I went on a hot date the other day. She's like, babe, I just can't wait till you're eating again. And I was like, I can't wait till I'm eating again myself. I said, here's what I tell myself when I feel a little weak. I'm like, man, you're gonna be able to enjoy that in September. right? Right now, no. I'm training right now, James Davis. I'm working on becoming a leaner, meaner breakthrough machine. Come on now, lean, mean breakthrough machine. But anyway, watch this. Next one. When you commit to being a product of the process, I don't know if I covered this, but when you commit to being a product of the process, and I always throw this in, you got to commit to the process of feeling bad or being bad for as long as it takes to get good. If you do that, you can get good at anything. You see, my friend, there's people waiting to get in, and I wasn't even paying attention. I apologize. Evangelist Pat and to yet. I apologize here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody they finally text me on my phone like, "Hey, it won't let me in. It says I'm waiting to get in." So anyway, hey, so again, and that's the thing. To yet just came in. That's the thing that got her that one quote. You got to be committed to and through the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. If you're committed like that, you can get good at anything, my friend, and everything. Right? It's like that caterpillar again goes through the cocoon, eventually becomes a beautiful butterfly. It's like the chick, it's inside that egg, right? But again, the process, as it goes through the process, it's going to eventually come out. And so again, you just got to be committed. And your financial breakthrough, my friend, you got to be committed to the process of being bad, doing bad financially, long enough till you can get good. If you do that, you'll get good. And so many of you, say, well, I've been bad long enough. Okay, fine. So you're paying the price, Karen, to be good. Is that right? There you go. So next thing, real quick, your financial breakdown or breakthrough is guaranteed when you learn to take calculated risk. There you go. Because risk is the ledge that gives winners the edge. See, just make sure it's a calculated risk. It must be calculated in your favor. I always talk about the employee versus the entrepreneur mindset or kingdompreneur, breakthroughpreneur mindset. And that is this, the employee mindset, because again, there's always risk versus reward. The employee mindset, they focus so much on the risk, they lose sight of the reward. The entrepreneur, the breakthroughpreneur, the kingdompreneur, we focus so much on the risk. The reward rather. We focus so much on the reward, we're willing to deal with the risk, especially when it's calculated in our favor. Like I talked to several of you about this thing called Texit Coin, right? Hiring your money. Remember, I met and married Nadia, and she said, "Baby, we don't want to spend money. We only want to circulate money, and circulate means it goes out and comes back, a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment." And my phone's going off right now. You may hear a little buzz, and that's reminding me right now is 10:19 here in Dallas. That's Central Time. 10:19 reminds me all throughout today. My mind, my Bible. My phone goes off to remind me of a biblical principle that I quote and claim. And again, a feast is made for laughter, wine maketh merry, and money answereth all things. Now, I was preaching at church one time, and the deacon said, "But that money answering all things, isn't that talking about underneath the sun?" And I said, "Well, yes, sir, you're exactly right. But the last time I checked, that's where we live right now, underneath the sun. Because when we get above the sun, we go. Those of us who are saved, going to heaven. God says the streets are gold. The gates of that. The dirt in heaven is gold. That's how loaded we'll be up there. But right now, even we get to be loaded based on the promises of God's holy word. No, not to say we won't go through tests and trials and tribulations, but of Psalm 66:12, thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire, about to get burnt up, and through water, feel like you're about to drown. But always cancels out what goes before. But thou brought us out into a wealthy place. So Jojo, to yet when it gets rough, I always say it ain't over till I get to my wealthy place. Come on, James Davis. Are you with me on that one? And so again, my friend, the calculated risk. Well, listen, I told people 8 weeks ago when I got this, which is crazy. I was just starting this fast, and I just was on the 8th day of the How to Make Extra 9K to 90K. Spoke for this company, Texit Coin, and met with the owner and said, "Man, we want to hire you. We want you to speak for us. We got to do business." He said, what does it take for me to do business with you, man?" I was like, "Make me an offer," right? But make a long story short, my coins then were $1.03. Well, guess what, my friend? Let me just right now. Let's go. Let's get. If you go to Coin Market Cap and type in TXC, it's at $2.83. Now write this down. Men and women can lie. Numbers don't lie. Let me say it again. Men and women can lie, even well-meaning. But numbers, Evangelist Pat Purely, they don't lie. So right now it's at $2.83. And that says over the year, I don't know if y'all can see that. Over the year, it's up 4,609% increase. So a guy the other day, like 3 days ago, he said, "Doc, you're my mentor. I'm joining this Texit Coin thing. You're right. I want to hire my money to work for me while I'm busy doing other stuff. And I want to be a good steward of God's money." He said, I don't have anything my money's making money for me. As a matter of fact, I've been having so much fun, D'Angelo. I've been asking people, "Hey, I'm hiring people to hire their money to work for them. Because money, write this down, is a terrible master, but a great servant. But what I found out, JoJo and Beverly, is so many people are serving money because they don't have it. When I say serving it, they pray for it all the time. They think about it all the time. And it's even caused them to lie to bill collectors and everything else. Hey, I'm telling you, the serious Christian people, get the money equation out of the way so you ain't got to pray about it, think about it, so you can be praying for revival and praying for the things that God really wants us. But I'm telling you, my friend, this is something, and yes, there's a risk with crypto. There's a risk. It was a risk when I bought Bitcoin at $2.08, $208 a coin back in 2015. My preacher friends thought I was crazy, thought I was linking up with the Antichrist. But when it went up to $19 a coin, they started calling me the prophet, Prophet of Profit. Come on, somebody. Now, unfortunately, I sold most of it at $19,000 a coin. I didn't know it was going to go up to $120,000 a coin. Matter of fact, they say now it could go up to $1 million a coin. So I've recently bought some more Bitcoin. So why would you buy some of it at $120,000 a coin? Well, because if it goes up to $1 million a coin, that means my money make 10 times itself. That's money making money while I'm busy doing whatever else I'm doing. See, Warren Buffett, write this down. He said, you will work until you die unless you learn to make money in your sleep. Let me say that again. Somebody put that in the chat. You will work until you die unless you learn to make money in your sleep. Question, do you have a strategy? Do you have a way where your money, which is God's money, what I just said the word, you're a steward of God's money. Do you have a way where his money is making money while you sleep? Right? And by the way, like we have, like I'm sure some of you, we have stocks and we have some other things that we invest in. And you know what? You know what I found out though? D'Angelo Lee, not one of those stocks got me a over 4,600% increase over the year. So again, 3 days ago, this guy said, Doc, I'm joining you because I want to hire my money to work for me. He said, but I got a little issue. I said, what's that? He said, I'm looking at the top 10 cryptos. And he said, Texit Coin is not anywhere in the top 10. And I said, okay. So I called my buddy Carl Wood. I said, hey, Carl, one of the guys that I mentor, Coach Jeremy, asked me a question, and I don't know the answer. Help me out. See, the Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsels. By the way, if your mentor doesn't have mentors, something's wrong, right? So everybody, at every point in our life, I'm getting off target, but this is a good target to get off. iPad user, whoever you are, everybody in life, we got to have a Paul, like young Timothy. You got to have a Paul in your life that's mentoring you, and then you got to have other folks that you're mentoring, right? It's you got to have people pouring into you, and then you got to be pouring in others, right? You got to have that, right? But anyway, so Carl said, well, have him go to CoinMarketCap and have him punch in Texit Coin, but have him click on 6 months. He's probably on just for the day or the week. Have him click on 6 months, then have him click on a year. Well, when I did that for 6 months, it was like over 1,000% increase. And then over a year, 4,600. Matter of fact, it was 4,400 the other day. It's 4,800. Man, that thing is kind of small, even with my blue blockers. 4,609.91%. And so the guy responded back. He's like, what? He said, man, that's amazing. And at that time, I think it was $2.50. Anyway, so he got started and we helped him get started. And then the next day when he woke up, it was at $2.86. I said, isn't that amazing that your money, that you hired your money just in time, that now is going up and it's increasing. Now, again, I don't know. Again, there's always risk, but here's the thing. It's been predicted every month to go to certain heights and so forth. And by Christmas time, it's supposed to be at $7.80-something a coin. If that be true, then that means even somebody starting now, your money's going to more than double by then. Then by February, it's supposed to be $16 a coin. So I'm just saying that's this amazing. But anyway, but you want to have your money working and making money for you. And by the way, you never have to tell anybody about this. And again, you don't have to join with me. Man, find somebody, whoever you're comfortable with. I just want you to be taken care. I just want you to know sound financial principles and practice and implement them. Now, I can tell you this, nobody you work with is going to be able to support you like I support you to the hilt, but But again, but if you connected, like I know somebody blessed two yet with some of these, and so she's got and working with it now, and again, after she started fasting, remember again, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting, and she's got some other miracles. And by the way, some of you have told me about some miraculous things that God's doing, and I'm so glad for that. Okay, next thing, real quick. When your financial breakthrough is guaranteed. Uh-oh. I lost my place here. Okay, here we go. And that is this. When you sell, that thing I used to think was a curse word, SEL, when you, that was a four-letter word, but that's a good four-letter word, but I thought it was a bad. Anyway, when you sell and sow words, when you sell and sow, which stand for words, when you sell and sow your way to success, your financial breakdown or breakthrough is guaranteed. It's your breakdown is guaranteed if you ignore this principle. Breakthrough guaranteed if you implement it, and that is learn to sell and sow your way to success. See, every day, write this down if you don't have it. Every day I say out loud, money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected sources in exchange for the value that I consistently and conscientiously bring to the marketplace. Every single day. Again, money flows freely and frequently. By the way, with Texit Coin now, I get paid every day between 7:15 to 8:15 every single day. James, I see thumbs up. I know you get yours every day, and D'Angelo and many of you that are part of this. But watch this though. Every single day. And that feels so good. But watch this though. But here's what I say this though. Money, and I was saying this before I got involved with Texit Coin. I believe that's what led me to this. Money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected sources in exchange for the value that I consistently bring to the marketplace, consistently and conscientiously. See, there's some people praying for financial breakthrough, but they're not bringing any value. All they're doing is praying and wanting God just drop some on the lap. I said the other day on Facebook, I'm willing to work for everything I prayed for. Ooh, come on. Somebody drop that one in the chat. I said, I'm willing to work, Michelle, for everything that I prayed for. Come on now. That woman in 2 Kings chapter 4 prayed for a financial breakthrough. Her husband died. They about to take her children to the debtors in 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. She went to the man of God. I know she was trying to get a little offering from the benevolence fund, but he said, what do you have in your house? Right? And by the time he was done, he helped her start. She got a miracle with the oil, but the oil came. That was a miracle, but she didn't have her money. So the miracle came, but she didn't have her money until she what? She learned to sell, right? She had to go sell. And so anyway, so usually God's waiting for us to put our natural. Oh, by the way, right? Put this, please, somebody put this in the chat and text this to me. God usually won't do what we can't do until after we've done what we can do. Oh, come on now. D'Angelo, is that hot? Come on, let me say that again. Somebody put that in the chat and please somebody text that to me. I said, God usually won't do what we cannot do until after we've done what we can do. Come on now. I said, God usually won't do what we can't do, the miracles, until after we've done what we can do. See, he's waiting for us to put our natural, and then he puts the super on top of it. That's when the supernatural occurs, right? So, man. Okay, so again, your financial breakthrough or breakdown is guaranteed when you sell and sow your way to success. And when I say sell and sow, I'm talking about words. So I say that every day, right? Well, guess what happened? Early this morning, I'm on my breakthrough walk, and there's money sitting right on the sidewalk. I'm like, really? Yeah. And it was folded up. It was about $4 worth. But hey, $4, that's $4 more than I had. And that's still money. And I picked it up. I said, Lord, I thank you. I thank you that money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected sources in exchange for the value that I consistently bring to the marketplace. So I thank you that this $4 represents $40 and $400 and $4,000 and $40,000 and $400,000 and $4 million and $40 million and $400 million and $4 billion. You said you're able to do exceeding abundantly above all I can ask or think according to the power that worketh in us. Lord, there's missionaries that need to be supported. There's orphans and widows that need to be supported. There's Christian folk that don't have the faith I have, and they're suffering financially like I used to before I understood some of these principles. And they need to be blessed and helped and encouraged. And Lord, if you get it to me, you can get it through me. Come on, somebody. See, some folks, here's why they're like the Jordan, they're like the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea. They just pray. Watch this now. They pray, God gives them. Pray, God gives them. Pray, God gives it to them. They just keep holding it. No, you dry up after a while. Here's what I do. I pray, God gives. Keep enough for me and my family, but guess what? Then I go back, Lord, I need some more. He gives. I'll find somebody else. Lord, I need some more. He gives. Okay, right? And so I'm saying that's the way you want it to go. So again, sell and sow your way to success. Speak it. Money cometh to me, right? So money, by the way, remember when we was young, they said money does not grow on trees. They're wrong. Money grows. Jojo, tell him Dr. Breakthrough said, James Davis, Noel, tell him money grows on money trees. So start planting money trees. And that's what you do when you buy your package, when you mine with Texit Coin. You're buying a money tree and money's going to grow on that tree. Okay, I can hear my wife. Baby, just breathe. Okay. All right, real quick, here we go. Next number, ready? When you visualize and verbalize. When you learn to visualize and verbalize until you materialize. Oh, come on now. See, again, another saying that I say, when I visualize vividly, you got to visualize, you got to see it to the point where you can almost reach out and visualize, make an extra 9K to 90K. Of course, my thing is 90K or a whole lot more in 90 days or less. Visualize the money coming in. Visualize vividly, where you can almost taste it, touch it, see it, hear it. You got to visualize the conference you got coming up, Michelle. You got to visualize seeing the people registering by the grows. You got to see all of a sudden it just goes viral. You got to see it. You got to learn to visualize. In the martial arts, we would visualize people. They try to call meditation. No. In our style of martial arts, our meditation was seeing yourself doing the technique, seeing yourself fighting your opponent and winning, seeing yourself doing everything. See, it's visualization. So you got to visualize, John, but don't just visualize. You got to visualize vividly. That's why I tell people, turn off the stupid box, put the phone down for a while, and get back to using your imagination and visualize. Close your eyes and see it happen. See you in that new house. See you being able to give. The pastor saying we need so much, and you say, Pastor, y'all ain't got to worry about it. We writing the check. We got you covered. Y'all can focus on something else. You got to visualize, but then you got to verbalize. You got to see it, but then you got to say it. And one day you'll materialize. So watch this. So Dr. Breakthrough also says, add a grind to your gift until you find you can flow. Add a grind to your gift until you can flow. So first of all, in the beginning, it's a grind. So it's a grind, right? It's hitting, but then after a while, it's no longer grind. All of a sudden now you learn to grow where it's a flow. It's a flow, like you can sense the Lord in this and you're flowing with him. They couldn't figure out, and I talk about this in my book, Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed. They couldn't figure out how the grasshopper is so small and is able to move so far. And they said, well, must be because his wings. I said, no, it ain't. Here's what it is. You know what they found out? I mean, he can flutter a little bit, but you know what they figured out? Here's what they found out. The grasshopper senses the wind, and the grasshopper jumps and then gets carried with the flow of the wind. And those of you who know the Lord, the wind is a picture of the Holy Spirit. And that's what I love when you see, when I try, I fail. But when Jojo, yield to him, he, through me, D'Angelo, prevails. See, can't help but win when doing it God's way. Oh my goodness, God's blessing. So I got to stop here, but you got to visualize and you got to verbalize until you materialize. So you may have to grind, add grinding to your gift until you find your flow. And when you find that flow, ooh, say, watch out. What time is it? Breakthrough time. So, hey, I believe in each and every one of you. Your breakthrough, again, my friend, this is day 84 of our How to Make Extra 9K to 90K. For those who are part of that, make sure you go on the Facebook group and so forth and watching those videos. Got some amazing things. So, hey, God bless you. Peace, breakthrough, and divine increase. Remember, we love you. We believe in you. And nothing you can do but receive it. Reverend Key, send us out quickly.
God bless you. God keep you. And God watch over you, which is my prayer for you and your family.
Amen. We receive it.